Louisiana All American Sports Show. 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 Louisiana. If the sports you wanna talk about, then listen to the hottest show that's coming out the South. It's Eric Hatfield and Coach Perry Daniels, man. They're gonna sit you down and tell you all about the game and make it plain. 96.9 FM, that's the station. To hear the best sports talk show in the nation. Without hesitation, you should get with this and get your popcorn ready for you better not miss. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana. It's Joker B. Check us out. Check us out.
Yeah, well, good morning, Baton Rouge. It's a great day to be alive and well. You're listening to the Louisiana All American Sports Show. And I want to thank you for joining us today. It's Saturday, May the 23rd, and I'm pumped up and I'm charged. And I'm here in the studio today with my colleagues. Oh, by the way, I'm Gerard the Piper, better known as Joker P.
This is Eric Hatfield. Good morning, Baton Rouge.
And yours truly, the Professor, Terrell W. Johnson.
And last but not least,
We knew we'd get you in there, Coach. And we're happy to bring y'all today, the local sports news here that we have in the local Baton Rouge area. It's going to be a great show. We have a full house today. We got Professor in the house. I'm so happy to see you, my brother. Congratulations to your daughter. Big ups to you. We'll get into that a little bit later.
Indeed.
But first off, we want to talk about the local area sports. We had the baseball championships, and Eric,
yeah.
That's your baby. So.
Hey, we always like to talk about we like to talk about our young people. We're the Louisiana All American Sports Show, but I got to tell you, the Diamond was not Baton Rouge's best friend at the amateur level, with one exception, but we'll get to that later. Last week, of course, we told you the LHSAA State Farm Baseball Championships were taking place in Sulphur. It was another successful event held at McMurray Park. But if you're from the Baton Rouge area, Catholic went down. They were the number 2 overall seed. They fell to Barb, a local high school out of Lake Charles, 6-1 in 7 innings. That was... He went down in smoke. In Class 4A, St. Thomas More had a little more success as they put the screws to Turling's Catholic 5-1 to take home the trophy in Class 4A. Another Baton Rouge area school was Parkview Baptist. Were you down with PVB? Oh, no, not me. They didn't make it. Actually, a great season for Parkview Baptist. I was just looking for a catchy rhyme. But John Curtis just keeps cranking out these guys out of a machine. John Curtis beat them 4-2 in 7 innings. John Curtis, another state championship. Great season, though, for Parkview Baptist. No shame at the Shrine on Airline. In Class 2A, it was never really that competitive. Oak Grove was demolished by Kinder 11-3. In Class 1A, it's been a spectacular year for our fellow statesmen in northern Louisiana. Ouachita Christian demolished St. Edmund 12-0 in 5 innings. Ouachita Christian, of course, was the Class 1A champion in football as they demolished the Southern Lab Kittens that we had told you about all year long, and they just keep on trucking. So I don't know what's going on in that part of the state, but they got some athletes up there. As you always hear about good football players and baseball players coming out of the Monroe area. So congratulations to Ouachita Christian. In Class B, Florian, number 2 overall seed, destroyed Fairview 10-1, and last but not least, Elizabeth, the number 1 overall seed in Class C, defeated Claiborne Christian 10-1. So that wraps up for another school year anyway the in-depth coverage of high school sports on the Louisiana All American Sports Show, and we'd like to thank all of you for sticking with us and following these young people this year. It's been an absolute pleasure. I think I speak for Joker and Coach. When it's a labor of love, and I love doing it, and I can't wait till next year.
Let's go, baby.
And So there'll be many more exciting things in the world of high school sports on the Louisiana All American Sports Show on 96.9 FM WHYR-LP, Baton Rouge Community Radio.
Man, John Curtis
Eric,
has a
great job this year of your high school coverage. I know Joker got out there with you for a couple of games.
He sure did.
Just want to acknowledge, man, you do a fantastic job covering that sport, which isn't easy to do.
Thank you.
That's right. Big kudos, man.
Job.
Yeah.
Thank you kindly.
Awesome job.
We're going to go to our bigger young people. And Baton Rouge just kept taking it on the chin. Last week, of course, the Southern University Jaguars, they were in a rebuilding year, if you will, on the diamond. Roger Cador has always put together a good team, but last year his top lieutenant, assistant coach Fernando Puebla, who is from Venezuela, there were some immigration issues. He was unable to coach last year, and it showed on the diamond. The team struggled very badly. And this year they kind of got off to a pedestrian start, but then it's like, I guess they started to gel, they started to get back to their familiar ways, and the Jags started rocking the second half of the year all the way to the SWAC championship in New Orleans last week at Barrow Stadium. But then Texas Southern came in, and much like they did in some of the other sports, they took the claws out of the Jags and really put a hammer on them. Second team all SWAC. That's foul. The poor Jags, man, and that's pretty much what TSU said. They said, "Oh, really? No, the joyfulness is over right here." As TSU moves on to the big dance, Southern still a heck of a season. They were dropped 10-0. Santos Saldivar, second team all-SWAC pitcher, had a no-hitter going into the fourth inning was either with 1 out or 2 outs, and oh my goodness, the floods opened like the levees after Hurricane Katrina, because then TSU poured it on, and in that fourth and fifth inning they ran away. It was, I believe, 9-0 by the end of the fifth. Still no shame. One heck of a recovery year for the Southern University Jaguars. So big props to them. I'm really looking forward to seeing this team next year, now that they have their machine back and the engine overhauled, if you will. I said there was one exception. There was one exception to the Baton Rouge Jazz funeral on the diamond. Of course, that's the LSU Tigers, ranked number 1 in the nation. They will take on the University of Florida. They'll take on the Gators today. Go ahead, Coach.
Oh no, Eric. I was just going to say that Santos Salvador, we should hear a lot more from him on the next level of baseball. That young man has a nice arm and really has a high baseball IQ. I look to see him in the majors. As far as LSU, hey man, they've got an outstanding freshman over there that they're putting on the mound.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
indeed.
And that's going to be exciting as well.
Yeah, you took a little of my thunder, but I'll tell you what, this is going to be worth seeing. Alex Lang, who's 10-0. Wow. 2015 SEC Freshman of the Year, a 2.11 ERA, 91 strikeouts. Let me repeat, this ain't the majors. This 91 strikeouts, this dude only has like 12, 13 starts. And he will take the hill against the Gators to advance LSU, hopefully, knock on wood, advance LSU to the championship game in the SEC tournament. They would face either Vanderbilt or Texas A&M. That game will be played today. It'll be at 3:30 p.m. our time. It'll be on the SEC network and on the radio on 98.1 Eagle 98.1 FM. A lot of opportunity there, and you're right, Alex Lang. I'm excited about this kid. He's fun to pitch. This dude's got a gun. What? LSU's having one heck of a year. I'm not going to dwell too long on them, but they're 48-9 right now. This regular season they have is ridiculous. But you know, with great accomplishment comes great expectations. I'm going to tell you, it's Omaha or bust. The next step is today in Hoover, Alabama. So that'll wrap us up on the diamond here on Memorial Day weekend.
So, Eric, do you think that this particular LSU team is as great as the, say, 92 team?
Well, we're talking those Skip Burtman like the
right.
You know, look,
all them guys.
I'm hearing rumblings as if this could be one of the greatest ever teams.
Well, you know, last year they had that same vibe about them. And Perry remembers this. I mean, I was really excited last year. I'm tempering my expectations because they went out in flames in the regional. They got just stomped by Houston.
With Skip Burtman back then, it just seemed like we had a little bit more shine. Because now even though they're number one, they've been number one pretty much the whole season. It's like they don't get the promotion. It's not like they're really pumped up like how back then LSU used to be. That was kind of a major thing. They got a lot of, you saw them on TV a lot. They got a lot of, publicity. But now they're kind of under the radar, kind of, you know.
Yeah, I don't think Paul
Well, college
Maneri.
baseball, in a sense, to me.
Yeah, I don't think Paul Maneri's the promoter. That Skip Bertman was as brilliant as he was as a coach and athletic director. He was the consummate promoter. He made that program when no one cared about college baseball. You look at the SEC network; their games on all the time now. That didn't happen back in '86 and '91 and all those days. But this team, my goodness, if like I said, it's Omaha. They got to get to the College World Series or bust. This team is ridiculous. They don't even have 10 losses yet, and we're already in the tournament. So we'll see. They have the chance, but I'm not going to get too excited. Not after last year, because I mean they showed the same thing last year and went up in smoke. You got to do it in the big dance.
That's
But
right.
again, I think that Skip Bertman was the Phil Jackson of college baseball.
I agree. I like that analogy.
Yeah.
That's good.
We'll get to
I
that.
think they are victims of their own success.
Yes, Perry.
Because they have been so good for so long that now being number one in the country is just no big deal anymore. And if you don't win the national championship, it's just not really a good season.
Right,
So
right.
you know, that's what happens when you have a successful program.
Yeah, kind of like my Green Bay Packers. I mean,
Oh boy,
Yeah.
here we
Well,
go.
just don't. I mean, winning your conference and winning, you know.
I mean, well, you know,
I do that.
you're right. When the '90s, when Brett Favre, it's like sort of like LSU back in the '90s when.
And here they go again, folks.
I threw that joke. I'm beefing with
that in there. But you know, today I'm not going to sun him. And speaking of sun, Mr. Perry Daniels has a friend of ours. And this guy is actually from, from the on the serious side. Had an earthquake in Nepal, and when I'm honored actually to have this guy on our show today. One son, he has a song that's out. It's called "Pray for Nepal." And this guy here, I've actually heard the song before. I was telling Perry, and this is real big. He has a lot of views on YouTube. I mean, close to 7,500,000 views.
Okay.
And we're honored to have this guy on there to talk about the. We international here at Louisiana All American Sports Show, and we really care about the community and also the international community.
At large, yes, sir.
What you got, Coach? I'm gonna let Coach take over from here. Are we all set up and ready to go, or what?
Yes, we are, sir. And you are absolutely right. We have international recording artist One Son joining us today. Good morning, son. How are you?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. What's up?
I'm good. I'm just enjoying the day and trying to get prepared for you guys, I guess. You know.
Well, look. We're having fun this morning. A lot of jokes and things, but there's some very serious issues going on in Nepal that we've invited you on to kind of talk about. Well, why don't you go ahead, son, and tell the story. What has transpired in Nepal over the past month or so?
Well, you guys probably know that there's two major earthquakes that have happened in Nepal. The first one being on April 25th. Oddly enough, that was the day before my birthday, and that was at a 7.9 magnitude scale. That was one of the largest earthquakes in the past 50 to 100 years that has hit Earth. There's a second one that hit in May 12th, I believe, and that was at the magnitude 7.4. Now, between that time and even as of now, Nepal has gotten over 200 tremors. So they're having mini earthquakes the size of at least 5.2 on a daily basis. So it's been a pretty traumatic series of events for my people. It really hit home for me because my sister's in Nepal right now. Oddly enough, she went out there for humanitarian purposes to help recreate the healthcare infrastructure in Nepal, and then she got stuck into the mess of the earthquake. So, my family's out there, my grandmother's out there, my cousins, and we're all just trying to do all we can to help. I'm no medical official, so it wouldn't be worth my while to go out there on the field. That's kind of what they need right now. But, what I can do is help really fundraise and make sure that the doctors do have medical supplies. A lot of these hospitals are running out of water. They're running out of all types, Band-Aids, everything you can imagine when it comes to recovery of our people. And right now what we're trying to do is also help prepare our people for the monsoon season. Now, the rain's coming soon, and a lot of these buildings, a lot of these houses are gone. I mean, all of these, majority of the houses in this major city is gone, and you can't, it's inhabitable. You can't live in there because it can collapse at any time. One of these small tremors can cause it to fall.
Wow.
So,
can I ask you a question, one son? How has the support been so far? Has a lot of support been coming in, and is it how?
It's been wonderful, I have to say. A lot of people have been quick to respond. The American government had brought out the Red Cross, USAID, and they had really worked hand in hand with the Nepalese government to help rehabilitate the country. We are really appreciative of it, and every dollar, every penny counts, because $1 here equals to 100 rupees in the Nepal currency, and 1 rupee is our dollar. So you can feed a family with $1, you know.
Wow.
Every dollar counts, and the U.S. has put in a lot of money, and along with other countries around the world, they've done a tremendous job. And it's really been bad. I mean, there's been over 8,000 deaths, over 15,000 injuries. It's a sad story.
Wow.
Son, if someone wanted to donate to help out Nepal, how could they get involved?
Well, I find that a lot of people feel more comfortable donating to some organizations than others, because at least they know what's more credible than not. Some like to do Red Cross, some like to do the NGOs that are out on the field in Nepal, because a lot of the donations, more of the donations goes directly to the victims. So what I do is I try and get everybody to go onto my description page on the YouTube link for the video, because that gives you at least an option of like 5 or 6 organizations that you can donate to, and whichever you feel most comfortable doing, because that's been a lot of the major concern of people is, well, where is this money going to? How much is actually going to the victims? What is it going to? Is it going to medical supplies? Is it going to, the volunteers' hotel stays? Like, these are all little questions that people are asking and concerned about. And so I feel like, giving them an option as to where to donate is the best. So I would definitely go to, just type in Pray for Nepal on YouTube. It's the first link. We have about, I think, close to 60 to 70,000 views on it. In the description page, there's like 5 or 6 donation pages that you can donate to.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I'm actually looking at it right now, and one of the websites is life.indiegogo.com /fundraiser. One is relief.satya.org. That's SATTYA.org. You can also go to supportunicef.org.Nepal, or you can go to childreach.org.UK/Nepal.
Yeah.
Great. So, look, son, we're going to move on, man, but before we let you go, one thing, we're going to play this song right after we end this section. Yeah, we're going to get that involved so that people can hear it. But we want to give you an opportunity to pick the NBA playoff series, the championship conference round. Who do you have in the Cleveland-Atlanta series?
Oh, definitely Cleveland. I mean, if you guys saw the way that they were playing last night, I mean, they dominated that whole entire thing, and they really, I think LeBron has come together more as a leader now than ever. Being in the Miami Heat, there was like 3 All-Stars, so he didn't have that opportunity to really like stray away from the pack and kind of help support the team as a team. And now he has that opportunity. I mean, he's really he's been stepping up. I'll tell you that.
Good.
Good answer.
And on the other side of the bracket, in the West out of Golden State and the Houston Rockets? Who do you have?
Golden State. I mean, I'm kind of biased. I'm not going to lie. A lot of my friends are from San Francisco. They're from the Bay Area, so I always have to root for whoever they're going for, especially that our Wizards are out. After the Wizards were out, I was like, all right, oh no.
Right.
But I would definitely say Golden State of the two. And that's going to be a heck of a game, between Golden State and Cleveland. If that happens, then I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, one last thing, sir. First of all, I want to thank you for joining us on Louisiana All American Sports. It is a pleasure, and anything that our audience can do to assist, we view people of color as being united around the world. And
thank you. Yes. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. This is a great opportunity to just kind of spread the awareness, and I appreciate it.
Most definitely, man.
One last thing, man. Who should be the number one pick in the NBA draft this year?
Karl Anthony Towns from University of Kentucky.
Wow.
I think they're going to Minnesota Timberwolves. Reason being is, Minnesota has a lot of young talent, and they need a center. They need a big center, and I think it's because their current center is about to be a free agent, and he's prone to injury.
Well, Okafor
so
is young. He's a center. Okafor is young, and he's a center.
Very true.
Hey, you're on the Louisiana All American Sports Show now. I will give a few dollars to Nepal, but when you get to talking about the sports, I will challenge you.
All right, no, I hear you. I just, I think that's someone that Minnesota is keeping their eye on, and they're a team to look out for if they were to get them.
Good answer, brother.
Right.
Good answer.
Great job.
I'm just kidding.
We'll talk to you Tuesday.
Thank you. And you guys enjoy the rest of your long weekend. Enjoy the weather.
You too, one son. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Brother, peace.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, man. So, man, what a great interview, man.
You took the words right out of my mouth. You know I'm a Duke fan. I was like, hold on now. What about Oakland?
I saw you the way you looked over there. I said, wait a minute. Like, he just talking about young, a center. They need a center.
Right.
I mean,
what about? But really, not to get into that, but I think the guy from Wisconsin might sneak in there. I don't know. I think.
Oh, Kaminsky? Well, we'll get on that. We'll get on that. He kind of opened a can of worms.
I know he did.
Yeah, he did. But one son, I do have his song here. It's called "Pray for Nepal," and it's featuring one son. And like he said, there's a lot of views on here. You can go on here on YouTube, put in one son, "Pray for Nepal," and it'll come up, and it has links in the bottom in the description box to tell you how to donate. So without further ado, this is for you.
Kick the science.
The death toll is rising in Nepal after a massive 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck the region.
To rise in the aftermath of the massive
police, local volunteers, foreign volunteers, basically going through the rubble with their bare hands. Culture heritage is something that people in Nepal take very, very seriously.
टाढा मेरो देशमा मन्दिरको देशमा भगवान हराए रे घर जानु छ भने रुन्छ रे छोरा घर नै छैन भने कसरी सम्झाउँ 3 वर्षको छोरीलाई बाटोभरिको रगत कसरी बुझाउँ भला सबैलाई त भन्दैछु सबै ठीक हुन्छ आफ्नो मनलाई कसरी सम्झाउँ
Let's pray for Nepal.
Wow, man, I like that. One son.
He's got some skills, man. He's got some, it's growing on me. We had talked about this in our production meeting the other night. I listened to it. I'm like, all right, it's cool. But I was mentioning during the play, it's starting to grow on me a little bit. It's got a little catchiness to it. I need to go ahead and put that on the radio in D.C.
Yeah.
If it's not already.
He does. I'm kind of impressed with the brother's skills as well. I mean, that's a nice, poignant song for what's going on there.
Uh-huh. What you think about it, Coach?
Absolutely, man. I thought it was a great song, and I just really appreciative that he took the time to join us today, and anything that we can do to assist those folks. And we talk a lot about social issues on our show, man. One of the big things that we have to do as a community is we have to start seeing ourselves globally and have a connection with other people of color around the world. Most of them are experiencing the same issues that the people of color in America experience.
Exactly. It made me think of Katrina a little bit. Kind of, did it bring you back to Katrina?
Yeah,
too?
when he was mentioning how uninhabitable some of the areas were, and just the totality of the destruction, that was in my mind. And we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of Katrina, and actually I have a little something myself I'm working on for that Saturday, August 29th. But be that as it may, it drew very stark, vivid reminders to me personally of Hurricane Katrina. So I definitely, it touched, what he was saying really hit home with me personally.
Yeah, it did.
Coach, you're not getting teary-eyed out there, are you? You sound a little somber, Coach. You sound quite somber. I mean, you went to the Barry White voice on me. I was like, oh my God, I almost was ready to cry.
Yeah. I started reaching in my wallet.
United around the world.
Indeed.
Hey, but really seriously though, it does kind of put you in a perspective of letting you know just how blessed that we are. When he said that $1 here was like 100
rupees
there, and 1 ruby there is like $1 here, so that's basically $100. But $1 can feed a family, and that's just kind of just brings you in perspective to show you that my mom used to always say, "You think you're doing bad, just look next door."
That's right. That's right.
Wow. But great interview, Perry. That's what's up.
Very much so.
Most definitely, man. You deserve a little something for that one there, Perry. I'm gonna give you a little something for that one there. Yeah, you deserve that. That's you and one son. My boy, one son. I like that name too.
One son.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's cool.
Son. Then he spells it S-U-N.
Indeed.
So, yeah. So I'm feeling that right.
All right, man. Let's go to the history lesson, man.
Yeah, okay. Well, you want to go to the history lesson? We can definitely go to the history lesson.
Indeed. Let's get it.
We ain't have my boy here in a minute. So, without further ado, Professor T. Johnson.
Good afternoon, WHYR listening audience, 96.9 Baton Rouge Community Talk Radio. I am yours truly, Professor Terrell W. Johnson, your brother in the struggle for freedom, justice, and equality. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the not guilty verdict in Cleveland today. We've discussed issues abroad and also here. I just wanted to mention that. I don't know if a lot of you are in the know about what transpired in Cleveland, but again, another police officer was found guilty. Another talk show for that issue at another time, but I just felt inclined to mention that.
Was found guilty or not?
Not guilty is what I meant to say. I'm sorry.
They declined to not indict. Is that what happened? They had a grand jury, or
not guilty?
Well, the 6 officers got indicted.
I'm talking about in Cleveland. You're talking about the Tamir Rice case, right?
And the guy that was 140-something shots were fired, and they found
oh my God,
the officer not guilty. Because
wow,
that's another talk.
Didn't know that.
Right. I saw it on Breaking News. At any rate, it is always our disclaimer to state that we wish to promote the quintessential essence of historical truth, not black truth or white truth, but unadulterated truth. Today's topic is related to clearing the ambiguity as it relates to the term religion. I want to give you a linguistical history of the term religion and how it was originally used in its proper historical contextual form. The word religion is the derivative of the Latin word regulare, which means to fasten or to bind. Now, if you were to ask someone during a contemporary era, what religion are you, this actually would mean what set of laws are you following, or what laws bind you, however. Now, this typically applied to the monastic life and its binding rules. Religion and piety did not exist in a bloodthirsty area where the rubric was bloodshed. A semi-barbaric and idolatrous mankind where might made right. Bloody encounters of pagan life could not be eschewed. Personal greed, lack of morality, and political corruption and subsequent economic exploitation ultimately germinated into slavery. Now, slavery is a critical institution which has evolved and transitioned over the centuries. Mankind during this epoch was brutal. The introduction to slavery presented an innovation and a paradigm shift from a traditional agricultural economy of the Neolithic era. Petty warfare permeated during this Neolithic era, which is the Stone Age era of crude tools. Typically, all men prisoners were killed. Women and children were kept. for hostages, and they were utilized for capacities such as household chores, or for erotic pleasures of their masters. Subsequently, as the agricultural era demand increased, which women could not produce, thus came forth the need for men. So as warfare germinated in the aforementioned Neolithic era, men began to be taken as slaves. Now, briefly and in closing, man once observed nature worship, and the capricious weather conditions served as a source of reward or punishment for mankind as he looked up to the sky for his livelihood. In an effort to explain natural phenomena such as thunder, lightning, whirlwinds, and solar eclipses, the heavens became God the Father, and the earth became the bearer of food, or the mother goddess. Man's existence came totally from this nature worship. As the Iron Age introduced and the sweeping change occurred, society transmutated from its pastoral environment and its crude economy to warfare, and a demand for workers became unattainable in any given land. Subsequently, wars of aggression against neighboring pastoral communities ran rampant, where booty and slaves could be obtained. Thus, the mild, educated slavery of the pastoral era, where slaves were considered unpaid members of families and eventually oftentimes married into families, was replaced with cruel chattel slavery, the total depravity of one's person. Ultimately, nature worship was replaced with polytheism, a multiplicity of mythical gods who were the defenders of war, human exploitation, and political coercion. They were protectors of the contentions and barbaric laws of oligarchical society, and thus was the genesis and the paradigm shift of the term religion as we know it today. So with that being said, I was just giving you a transition of what we take the word religion to mean today as a particular religious belief. However, in its original form, the term was used as a binding set of laws, and I'm giving you the transition from what we consider religion today and what it was originally thought to be in the Neolithic or the Paleolithic eras. So with that being said, always investigate the information you receive. If it is indeed the truth, verily, it shall stand the test of investigation. Peace.
Class is dismissed. I like that.
Class dismissed.
Class dismissed. Man, that was pretty good. That was pretty good, man. It had been a while since I got to Professor T's lesson, man. And I really enjoying what's been going on. But we've been talking a lot about other stuff, and we've been talking a lot about, this and that. But man, we got to get down to what's going on with the finals and what's up.
Goodness, man.
You know what I mean?
My goodness.
Hey, it's been getting serious, man. It's been getting serious, and I kind of predicted it.
My goodness, you did not predict anything. What is this guy talking about?
I said at the beginning of the playoffs that LeBron James,
my God.
I predicted him to be in the finals. I also predicted Golden State, as I recall. I think that. And I'm saying this over. You see how I got the music playing in the background.
I'm checking you out. I'm checking you out.
Kind of cool, though. Yeah. But look, I thought that the only one that could beat LeBron James was the San Antonio Spurs, which was your team.
Yes, sir.
And when they got knocked out, I thought that, hey, they got past Chicago, which is another great defensive team. I do not see Golden State beating these guys.
I'm joking. I think you sound like you're on a bandwagon.
Because they remind me of Oklahoma City when they had Kevin Durant, James Harden. They shot the lights out. They had the best record in the season. They looked good on paper. Golden State looks good, but they don't play defense. And LeBron James, Chicago Bulls plays defense. When I saw that they got past Chicago, and LeBron has experience in the finals. Either team in the West, if they get to the finals, it'll be their first time. Just like Oklahoma City.
Well, James Harden's been before.
Stop. Well, James Harden was there, and he didn't play good.
And Trevor Ariza.
But,
And Kevin McHale's the
Dwight
coach.
Howard.
I'm just saying. And Dwight Howard, yeah.
But I mean, for as a team-wise, this is going to be LeBron's 5th final in a row.
Do you think Cleveland wants to get in a run-and-gun UNLV type amoeba defense, helter-skelter type of game? I love Golden State. I love how they play, man.
Great point, T. But
I love how they play, man.
Check this out. In the Eastern Conference, with teams, of course, Chicago, man, Tom Thibodeau, with that defense that they got. LeBron James done plays a lot of defense. See, San Antonio played defense in the West.
That's right.
That's how they was able to beat
That's
LeBron.
right.
They put Vashawn Leonard. They didn't play. They can force their will, and Cleveland has the same way. They're not going to allow Golden State to run up and down because they're going to. Schumpeter's going to play defense on Clay. They're going to play physical with these guys. They got Moscow. They got big men down there. Draymond Green was undersized. They got experience. LeBron James, man, he's going to take one of those guys out with defense. The only team that could have stopped them was the Spurs or either Chicago Bulls because of the great defense. Now I just think that actually the title is for LeBron to lose. That's my opinion.
I at the beginning of the playoffs, I said you can just give Cleveland an express pass to the NBA Finals.
Wow.
And I said Golden State would be their most likely opponent. That appears to be what's happening right now. The only thing that's changed for me is that I thought I was almost predicting Cleveland with confidence bordering on the point of arrogance. I thought they'd coast through, but you have an injury.
Kevin Love is not even there.
Injury to Kevin Love.
Great. You know, I kind of give one son a little props. He said that on this team, you know, by him going to Miami, he was the leader, but Dwayne Wade's team, really. Mm-hmm. Now he comes back to Cleveland, even without Kyrie Irving, even without Kevin Love, LeBron James, just his basketball IQ is just so high. You're going to have to really play a perfect game to beat him. On paper, Golden State has everything. They should win. They won the most games. But that usually doesn't transition to playoff championship basketball.
I think the only thing that will happen if Golden State self-destructs, it'll be a problem. But the methodology in which Golden State plays the run and gun, I just don't see Cleveland matching up with them consistently with that helter-skelter type of play. And if Golden State is clicking, it's over with.
Well, the other thing, true. But do they not remind you of Oklahoma City?
They remind me of McKinley.
But McKinley played defense.
Indeed.
But don't they remind you of Oklahoma City? Remember when Kevin Durant?
They do.
They would jump shoot team.
They do.
But in the defense in the finals against Miami, they lost 4-1. And I also see that Houston,
Good point.
with Dwight Howard, even though they're not the best defensive team, they're giving Golden State a little trouble. They actually could have won.
That series should be tied. If not Houston up 2-0, it should at least be tied. Yeah. I think that with Cleveland,
great discussion. By the way,
here's the problem. Here's the problem I see for the Cavs and why I don't have my chest thumped out as much as I did when the playoffs started. Kevin Love is out. Excuse me, Kyrie Irving has the sore knee. When you consider some of the wins that Cleveland had, they took the Bulls out, but it was without Paul Gasol, who might have had the best year of his career in spite of his advanced age, at least offensively.
Right.
You know, you have Atlanta, Thabo Cephalosha, because he got tightened up by the police in New York, has been out for the playoffs. You know, Kyle Korver's hurt. Now, Damari Carroll, it's a miracle this dude came back, but he can't possibly be the same defender he was before. That gruesome knee sprain, and I'm just lucky it was just a sprain. And now Al Horford got hurt last night. I don't know how long he's going to be out. Cleveland is wounded, and they're beating other wounded teams. Golden State is at full strength. Now, they play physical defense. They will hit you, and maybe they'll hurt some Golden State people physically. But I'm a LeBron fan. I want to see the Cavs win. I want to see him bring a championship to Cleveland, but I got to take my fanhood out of it. I don't see how Cleveland matches up with Golden State, or even Houston for that matter. I'm not seeing it.
What about? Okay, I'll say it like this. Well, let's get Coach in on this. I want. What you think, Coach? We just jump right into the discussion, and we just getting right to it.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I don't think that the Golden State-Houston series is over yet. I think Houston has a lot more fight left in them, and they're going to surprise folks there. I'm not sold on Golden State representing the West in the finals.
They're going back to Houston, too.
Yeah, I think that Houston team... Here's the key for Houston. See, really, their center, Dwight Howard, should probably be a Los Angeles Clipper.
He has a lot of Clipper tendencies, Coach. I see where you're going with that. I hear you.
Baby.
Kind of what, Dwight Jordan?
Dwight is a crybaby, man.
Yeah.
Always beckon to the officials and whatnot.
Hey, but what about? But what you think?
He's been quietly helping. He's been quietly helping their cause.
Hypothetically speaking, do you think the Clippers would have beat Golden State? I think the Clippers would have beat Golden State.
You never know how the Clippers are going to play.
They should have played Golden State, but they let it go, you know?
We'll get on that. I got an issue with that one, too. That's the next topic I wanted to talk about, actually. Because everybody kind of give Doc Rivers a pass. And I used to give Doc Rivers a pass. You know, I used to give him a pass. He won a championship. He does this and that. But to me, he did a poor job. And to me, they're underachieving since he's been at the L.A. Clippers. He's been underachieving. Man, you got 6th man of the year coming off the bench. You have championship experience. You have one of the best power forwards. You have the best point guard. You got Matt Barnes. You got defense. You got 3-point shooting. You got experience. You got everything. And for you to have a 3-1 lead and come in against pretty much a new team, with not even full strength with Dwight Howard, and for you to lose that series the 2nd year in a row. You beat the Spurs. You play one way one night. But the L.A. Clippers underachieved, and I think we kind of had a debate about this the other night at our production meeting, me, Eric, and Perry. And I won't get Professor in on this one here because, we like Doc Rivers. I like Doc Rivers. And I don't want to get on him and have to criticize him, but I'm just being objective here.
Well, I mean, I think Doc...
If they playing one way one night, they play like superstars. They'll blow San Antonio about 20. Blake Griffin doing this thing. Next night they come out, they'll lay an egg. And it's been like that for the whole season. It's been like that for the whole season. Playoff time, they should have beat Houston Rockets. I just up 3-1. There's only 9 teams ever came back from 3-1 deficit, man. You're Doc Rivers.
But Houston is
against
2 of them.
Yeah, Houston. Yeah.
Well, 3 of them now. It's 3 times they've done that. Clutch City.
So I want to get your take on Doc Rivers.
Well, in defense of Doc Rivers, Doc can't play. Doc doesn't have on a uniform, and he can't get out there and play. But it is Doc's role to galvanize his team and have them prepared. So I do concur with you in that sense. I think that there was no way they should have lost the lead in the series against Houston. And again, but Doc cannot play. I think he should have had his team better prepared or better motivated. Maybe he should have gave Dale Brown a call. I don't know. Coaches coach and players play. You took a little nugget of my thunder there, but I think Doc Rivers. I think his coaching. If you look at the strategies he called, I thought it was fine. The execution was just lackadaisical going down especially Game 6. I mean, that was the bugaboo. And I think the problem for Doc Rivers, I think his role as GM might be a part of the problem. It's the chemistry of the players or the mindset of the maturity.
And that's my point.
I think the X's and O's. I mean, I'm seeing the X's and O's. What I'm not seeing is the intangibles and the fortitude. I mean, Chris Paul's leaving it out there. Blake Griffin is usually dialed in, but when he's not dialed in, he's face planting on the ground trying to beat Chris Paul, which he's not. Matt Barnes is kind of a goon. His personality.
Right.
DeAndre Jordan goes to the free throw line, and he might as well put me in one of his jerseys. I could probably improve the team. So I mean, I think it's that general manager's role. The team he's put together. I think there's a nugget or two. There's an element or two off that periodic table that's he's dropping water into acid, so to speak, for all you chemistry people out there. Wow. But I mean,
I think one thing I look at too. One, he brought his son over there. That's not a good look.
Didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt, but at the same time, I saw a lot of substitution problems to me. He had J.J. Redick in the game, and it was just from what I saw myself personally.
Man, Redick played some ball, man. Redick stepped up. You don't think Redick stepped up?
Offensively, he's a shooter.
Redick stepped up. Not his last playoff series. I saw him. He done bad in the San Antonio. He did okay in the San Antonio, and he has a little good defense. So I see why he had put Redick in for the defense. But I seen him miss some shots, man. Me, myself, but I'll give you this. X and O's, Doc is one of the best. He calls a lot of good plays from out of bounds and everything like that. But, I digress on Doc Rivers. I mean, but
I think Joker's still a little salty about that Duke thing.
I was thinking about that.
J.J. Redick.
I know. I caught that.
I overstand what you're doing. I see through that smoke screen. You still bitter against the Duke thing, but we're going to leave that alone.
Redick statistically is having the best offensive year of his career, averaging 16 a game. So Rivers has brought that out of him, and his defense was non-existent in Orlando, was non-existent.
Yeah.
But I'd say he was below average last year. He looks like a guy who actually can competently guard somebody this year. So I think his game has stepped up under Doc Rivers. I don't think he's part of the problem. Well, I think the Austin Rivers thing, there might be some chemistry there. I think Matt Barnes is a guy you got to manage heavily, and I don't know if Doc is in the, after Rajon Rondo, I don't know if he wants to manage another tough person.
But these guys been there for a few years. Doc ain't just come there this year. Matt Barnes been there 3-4 years. You've had the same team. You know exactly what your team is about. You've had Blake. You've watched him develop. You know what I mean? I mean, you got everything. You got, like you said, you got the hatchet players. You got Big Baby. You got Matt Barnes. You got those physical type players. You got a rebounding machine, the top rebounder in the league. You got one of the best point guards in the league. You got one of the best power forwards in the league. That is 3 positions where you have the best. You have the best 6-man coming off the bench in the league in Jamal Crawford. You have one of the top. You have a championship pedigree yourself, and you get in the playoffs. This is the time you're supposed to shine. It's been the last few years where they come up critical. I've been a lot of questionable plays. You know, I mean, a lot of things get overlooked just because he's Doc Rivers, and that's what I'm saying. If this was somebody else, like Scott Brooks with Oklahoma City, and then you've been there 3 consecutive years, and you haven't got to the conference finals.
Off with his head.
You haven't even got to the conference final with the LA Clippers team that you got.
Right.
And these people paying you a lot of money.
Brooks has won the West. They lopped his head off without Kevin Durant. So, yeah, right. Doc is, you got a point there, Joker. He's definitely, his name is helping his cause a lot. But that team also, you look at what happened in 2014, you almost have to take that year out of the equation. I mean, they did a good job pulling together, but I mean, with all that nuttiness last year, you know. But look around the horn for "I Told You So" because we got a new "I Told You So," and I think we need to by this time next week, those series should be pretty much could be decided. We don't know yet.
Oh man!
But in this series, and I guess it's obviously we're heading into the 3rd game of each of these series, so we have the benefit of hindsight. I'll just say that in the East, I picked Cleveland from jump. I'm even more confident of that now with what's going on in the Atlanta series. In the West, I like Golden State, but mainly because they're up 2 games to none. I agree with Coach Perry Daniels. The Rockets are not dead, but right now I got to go Golden State. They're up 2 games to none.
Who you got, T?
Golden State to win it all.
You got Golden State to win it all.
Period.
Oh, so you're letting
Period. Period.
Okay. I
said
period.
Okay.
I'm saving that.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm getting south side. I'm looking dead in your eyes.
I see that.
Okay, all right.
I'm looking back.
I wish you were in there. I'm looking dead in his eyes,
I'm looking back. You know, don't have me put the mic back to back.
That's right. Who you got, Coach?
I've got Cleveland to win it all, and I think they're going to play Houston in the championship.
Clutch City.
In 9 minutes. In 9 minutes, what do we have coming up, fellas?
We have Noel Jackson with Music Satisfaction here on 96.9 FM WHYR-LP, Baton Rouge
Community Talk Radio.
Yes, indeed, man. I want to give a big shout out to Noel, man. Noel talks about our show a lot when he's on there. I've been listening to you, Noel, and man, you're doing a good job.
Yes, sir, he does.
His show's outstanding. I mean, if you want something different than the corporate tracks that repeat, 80, 120 songs in a cycle, you want some picks with something to it. Noel's show is fantastic, and I don't listen to FM radio music as much as I used to, but I lock into his show when I'm driving around town. It's that good, and it hits the gamut of good music.
Most definitely. And he definitely does it for the love of it, and he expresses that on air. I was listening to him a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about how he's doing it for the love of it. He was going back and talking about when him and his brother had the treasure chest, and now they got to get back out there and do what they got to do to still make it and everything. But,
indeed,
and he's in here for the love, and I just want to give him big thanks.
So let's go back in the time machine and see who has been right and who's been wrong so far. We're talking a lot of prognosticating. And I told you this and I told you that. Well, let's see who told who what in I Told You So.
Let's find out.
I told you. I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
Now, but we'll see. But I'm predicting the Cavs to come out there. I think it's going to go 7. So I'm going to go with Cleveland Cavaliers on that series. Golden State is a jump shooting team, so it seems like when they're not really on, and Memphis is a defensive team, and I always kind of tend to go toward defense, but it's all about firepower at the end of the day in a 7-game series. And a team that won 67 games to me in the regular season, I just can't go with them, for the lose. But I think Steph Curry MVP, I'm gonna have to ride with them. Atlanta and the Washington Wizards. We could almost pretty much move on from that series because it looks like John Wall got injured. So I'm definitely going to have to go with Atlanta. It's going to be the Clippers and the Rockets. I think I'm going to probably have to go with the Rockets on that one. I'm going to ride with the Rockets with the upset.
You know, we had some talk of. So anyway, this series, I'm thinking. I mean, I know we're 3 games in, so it kind of gives us an unfair advantage. But you know, the series was not underway last Saturday. I mean, at this point, I would have probably picked the Clippers if you asked me that question last night. I'm definitely picking them now after Game 3.
No.
Perry, I know who your heart is not with, but who is your mind with in this series?
Yeah, the mind says that those people that will do anything for money are going to come out victorious here in this series.
Oh, man. Rose faded away, the ball hit the glass, and I for a split second, I went back to 89 and saw Jordan shooting it over Elo, getting the Bulls that win. The Bulls stole Game 3 last night and took a commanding 2-1 lead in the series. And I tell you what, I still think Cleveland's going to win the series.
Remember that this Memphis Grizzlies team, Derek, is a veteran basketball team. They are not in awe of Golden State's record or their home court advantage. So I really see Memphis pushing through. Golden State put up tremendous numbers this season. And statistically, it is one of the better teams in the history of the NBA. It's just that I don't see, I think that Memphis, because of their maturity, will be able to push through the talent of the Golden State Warriors.
Little patriotic Memorial Day 2 Live Crew music.
Yeah, I like that.
I sit there and listen to that, man.
Yeah,
Band in the USA, Uncle Luke.
Really long. That really made me think of being a patriot. You know, being a patriot.
Well, Joker, look,
that's what flashed through my mind.
Okay, Joker, look. Perry, while Joker was, I was sitting there thinking about one point that Joker made quickly, 10 seconds, when he was talking about Doc Rivers and that team. My mind, while he was saying so eloquently the way he speaks, my mind flashed back to that Dale Brown team, the Chris Jackson, Stanley Robinson, Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, he was strapped. There was no way they were supposed to lose to Georgia Tech this year. So while Joker was saying it, I was like, God, man, he's on. I didn't want to give it to him, but kudos to Joker. He was on point with that. So that kind of made me see his light, because as he was saying that, my mind, I was thinking about that team.
Right. But this man got the top point guard, Chris Paul, one of the top, man.
Right, he does, man.
Blake Griffin. And you got a center. He may not shoot free throws, but he's a rebounding machine. I think he led the league, I want to say. He was in the top 2 or 3.
Yeah, DeAndre Jordan?
Yeah. And you got the 6th man of the year. So, hey, but I told you so.
Yeah, we're going to see how that
plays. 4 out of 4 on that one.
We're going to see how that plays itself out. Of course, we have...
Joker, you was on fire, man.
The NBA lottery, of course, took place in the last week, and one son had kind of gone ahead a little bit and talked about the draft. But look, there are some talented... There's a lot in the top, I'd say, 50. The lottery picks are going to be very... Some potentially impactful players.
I think the Lakers are back. The Lakers might be back.
And the Lakers, I think
they're going to get somebody good.
I think they're going to get Jahlil Okafor myself. Right. I think I agree with one son. I think Karl Anthony Towns is going to go first. I think he's more of a finished product. He's a little more mature and a little more patient.
He has you can see a better ceiling.
Yeah, but the Lakers, Okafor, I think it's a good fit, especially with Kobe going into his last year and Julius Randle there. I like where that could be going for the Lakers, man.
Yeah, they got money to spend too under the salary cap, so they'll be able to even get a free agent to join these guys. So
what about the guy from Wisconsin, man?
Frank Kaminsky. I just don't see him doing. I see him.
I think Decker played himself up actually with his shooting. I mean, Kaminsky, I just don't think it's big enough.
I think I'm just like the other. Was it a North Carolina player, Tyler Zeller? I put him.
But even Zeller. I mean, even Zeller had a pretty meaningful role. But even Zeller had a pretty meaningful role with the. With the Pacers, didn't he play with Indiana? Is that where he went? Or
he did go to the Pacers.
He's an effective defensive player.
What was the other guy who went with the Pacers? They used to call him crazy.
Psycho T. Actually, Psycho T. Psycho T.
Tyler Hansbrough?
Yeah,
Tyler Hansbrough. Right.
So I see Kaminsky on that kind of.
Really?
Well, how do you see him? Would you see him on a?
I mean, I see.
On a Marc Gasol or what you?
No, I mean, I think he's a finished, talented player, and he can be used as a good fit somewhere. I mean, he has a nice low post game. He has a nice low post game. He has handles, and he can shoot the jumper.
Like Tyler Zeller.
I see him being a Dirk Nowitzki type player.
Oh, no way.
No.
Oh, man. Dirk Nowitzki's walking in the hall.
Make sure you record that. Look,
I got that.
Skill set. His skill set.
Repeat that again.
With his skill set. I'm talking about his skill set.
Okay.
I just don't.
He shoots like Dirk Nowitzki.
I think Dirk is getting getting ready to put a blitzkrieg on you with that comment right there, man. Shoot. Oh no, man. Frank Kaminsky is not big enough to have the impact that he need to have defensively. I think he's a decent shooter. I don't think he's great. Wisconsin has a lull you to sleep kind of plan that works well in college. I think Kaminsky will be in the league for a long time because he's solid. He is a finished product. I see this guy as a six, if not a sixth man, then just a 9 points and maybe 5 rebounds a night kind of guy.
I actually see him not doing good at all. I saw Kentucky. I'm just gonna keep it real. Kentucky put that physical on him, and when he get to the NBA, and he was kind of frustrated for a while, but Kentucky put that physical on him. And hey, that does it for our show. I want to give shouts out to everybody in Baton Rouge. T, who you got?
I want to shout out my daughter, Terrell Johnson. I'm very proud of you. She graduated this past weekend, 2015 class of TSU. Strong shout out to her. 3-time SWAC champion in the triple jump. Baby daddy, love you. Much love.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll let Perry. Perry, what you got?
Terrell Johnson, we want you on our show next week to talk about SWAC track and field.
5 seconds.
So keep that in mind. 96.9 FM WHYR-LP will be hosting a fundraiser Thursday night, May the 28th from 6 to 9 at the Tin Roof Brewing, 1624 Wyoming Street. ADT, JNS, love you.
Peace. Have a good afternoon.
Peace, everybody.
Auxiliary.
Come and tell me when it's time to. Sweetheart is bleeding in the snow cone. So smart, she's leading me to ozone.
Did you put any NAS stuff on?
Oh, our usual ending.
JNS.
Yeah.
Hail to the king and lots of love. May he protect us from the evil. Hail to the king, lots of love. May he protect us.